One of my all-time favorites, too, is Explosive Skies.
Yeah.
She was only a bronc for 1 year, and I ended up getting on her 5 times, I believe.
In 1 year?
Yeah, well, once 2 years before, she was still a bareback horse, and Pollockville, the hard grass bronc match, biggest bronc riding they got going, and it's in July, right after Calgary, end of July, and so I come into the short round. I think I had second pick. It's pick your poison short round. So you walk out there and you pick your horse. And so I had second pick, and special delivery. He was kind of the man at the time in the bronc ride, and they'd been winning a lot on him. I won it the year before on that horse, and so Case Thompson went out there and picked special delivery. I mean, everything was still in there. Wild Cherry, Tokyo Bubbles. I mean, you name it, they were all in there. And I went up to Tyler Craft and I said, "What should I pick? Like, what's one's gonna like? You gotta have the dragon in the pen." And he said, "Pick that X9." He said that one pitches pretty hard. And Tim O'Connell just won Calgary in the bareback riding on her, and I was like, I'd seen Colby get on her the year before there in the short round. He only rode her about half a jump, and she threw him back into the box before he nodded just about. And so I didn't really know what to expect, and I got on there, and oh my gosh, it was like riding an alligator. But I got her twisted. Darn sure not my best ride on her, but I did get her rode, and then a year and a half later she turns into a bronc, and I picked her a couple more times, and then I drew her. Probably my bigged ride, I would say, or biggest moment at the NFR would be the 5th round of 2023's NFR. Had the World Champion Buckin horse with the reigning World Champ getting on her, and she was not a layup by no means. She was hard to get spurred out, and she was hard to ride. She was kind of like Get Smart with about 600 more pounds on her.
Oof.
And I put it all over, won the round, and that one was pretty cool for sure.
Was it 92.5? What were you?
Yeah, 90 something.
What did a lot of horses? So you said that was a bareback horse, went to a bronc, go back to bareback.
Did she go back to
Yes.
the bareback horse? No, she was going to stay a bronc, and she actually kicked through a pipe fence or did it in the trailer. They're not sure how, but ended up cracking a little, getting a crack in her cannon bone there this year, and going to Lee Park in June. And so she's retired,
Really?
raising babies, and she deserves it.
Yeah.
But man, that was an incredible horse.
Gotcha.
The other really cool one that I had the chance here this last year was I put on my own bronc match, the first inaugural Zeke Thurston Invitational, and it went off. It was cool, and it was had my name behind it, so I was wanting it to go good, and we had a few issues with some horses, a couple horses stumbling, falling down. Next thing you know, we've given away 8 re-rides, and I'm like, jeepers, this is a wreck. It's not going good, but I think you have a lot different perspective when you're the producer and not just somebody there getting on or sitting in the stands watching it, so I was feeling like this show needs to be saved. And when I was calling around to the contractors who could bring some horses for us, I called C5, and they said, yeah, we'll bring you a load or whatever. And they called me back a few days later, and they said, hey, Virgil needs another trip in Canada to be eligible for the Canadian finals and for the NFR. Would you want to buck him at your bronc riding? And he's a bareback horse, He'd been a bronc for a year, and he went back to the bareback riding. I said, absolutely, we're going to buck Virgil at my bronc riding. Why wouldn't we? Like, it's probably the most famous horse to ever live. So, however it worked out, I drew this little horse in the long round, and she had a day, and I win the long round at my own bronc match. Everybody's like, this place is rigged, So I got first pick. It's pick your poison short round. Well, I can't not pick Virgil. Yeah. I said we can bring him. We're going to have him. So I picked this big white dragon, and I'm back there thinking, gee, I'm sweating it. I'm like, jeepers, what is this thing going to do? Weighs about 1,600 pounds and hard as a rock. And anyways, they loaded him, and sun was going down, and Brett Gardner's doing his hype up, same thing, pumping it up. My own bronc match, my hometown crowd, and everybody, they're standing on the fence. They're all gathered around, and he bucked hard, and not a really enjoyable style that he had that day, kind of late kicking and uber strong. I mean, strong. It was like being tied to a Mack truck, but I got him rode, and man, it was that was a pretty cool moment. It was that was a big one. Highlighted my year last year for sure.
Is there horses that are badass in the bareback, not good in the bronc riding, or vice versa?
Oh, for sure. There's lots of lots of horses that can really be good bareback horses, and sometimes they don't like the halter on their head. They don't, it just interferes with them too much, and they won't be the same. There's lots of horses that need the halter on their head and like to, push into it and kind of brace off of it and helps them, it helps them with their balance and with their timing and makes them better. But a really good horse, I think a really good one can go do both. If you have one that special, they're going to be a great bareback or a great bronc.
Mm-hmm.
Virgil almost looks easy to ride, and I know that's a crazy statement, but I think it's because he just bucks so pure. At least in the bareback, he bucks so pure. It's almost like he's straight. And I know we talked to Leighton Berry. He said he does some crazy trips too, but when he got drawn this year in the 2024 NFR, I mean, it's like a guaranteed 90, and he just bucked in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And dare I say, it almost looked easy.
Yeah, he's got a couple different trips, right? So like this year out there at the finals, I think Jacob Lees had him the first time he was out and goes 90 plus and wins a round or split the round, whatever he did. And Virgil had a good day. He was up in the air and he was kicking and when the higher they jump, the easier they are to ride. The more time they spend in the air, the more timing there is, especially if they're kicking, following it up with a good kick. So he had kind of that day. And I'm not taking nothing away from him. Like, it was a great ride, and I'm not saying he's not strong, because he is. But then he does have a trip where he won't jump as high. He'll kind of stay a little lower to the ground, but he's still bucking extremely hard, and he'll kick a little bit late.
Mm.
So that's the trip I got out of him. So he would actually he would jump up and then hit the ground with his front feet and then kick after. So you're taking full force, and yeah, he was heavy.
That's why you said it felt like you were tied to a Mack truck.
Oh yeah, I knew there was going to be some there because he's just the way he's built, and I've seen him go 1,000 times. I knew there was going to be something there, but there was, after that second jump, and I got a good sprout on him. My feet come good, and I reached up and poked him once, and I felt it all go straight up my chin, and I was like, oh geez, there's more horse here than I thought, and it just kept coming and coming.
We're talking about rank horses. So show him, see what he thinks about this.
This Cowboy Channel here, that's the video. Cowboy Channel posted this and collabed with the contractor.
Okay. Oh, this is Sankey's horse.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah, that's a really good horse. That horse looks a little droppy right there, though.
Man, he looks like he's going to be big. Like, I don't know nothing about it.
He's vertical there.
Yeah,
near.
That horse bucked right there. That horse is obviously a young one. He's a colt, but that horse has got good size to him. He's kind of a tall, rangier looking horse. But yeah, Sankey's they'll show up with some good ones. That one, he wants to do it.
Could you have stayed on that horse right there?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I knew the answer to that.
That's a good horse, though. Like, that horse is really jumping up in the air and following it up with a lot of kick, but he's also kind of coming up with his front end a little bit more at the start. You really feel that in your saddle. You can feel your swells start dropping,
Gotcha.
And that's that'll stretch a guy out, it kind of wants to get you,
right.
Kind of wrung out, and you want to try to stay down and stay small,
Gotcha.
But that's a good horse.
The high kicking, to us who know nothing about it, looks rank like that's, in our mind, that, wow, what a ride, what a horse. Does that make a difference, the angle of where they're kicking their back legs on your score?
It for sure plays into your score. Absolutely. But it actually, the higher they kick and the harder they kick, the better it will feel to you. It's the ones that are kind of tricky that a lot of people don't understand. Like, it maybe looks easy to maybe somebody that's maybe not as educated in it, but like a horse that'll really jump in the air, but he doesn't really, what we call, break over, so he'll really jump in the air, but he'll kind of stay flat, and then he'll kick out. Those horses, like in the bareback riders love them because there's not a lot of power to them, and they're real flashy and they look really cool. In the bronc riding, there's not a lot of front to back motion. So it feels like everything's kind of coming straight up through the middle of the seat of your saddle, and so it's kind of hard to get a lot of send on your feet. So it kind of feels like you're having to do a lot of the work yourself. But still, I mean, those horses are cool.